Okay, in this question, first we got the value of Fem fixed and moment. Then we wrote the slope deflection equations, and then we have written the equilibrium equation. And once we solve the equilibrium equation, we got the value of rotation continuous and we got the value anti-clockwise direction 8.5 divided by EI. And by using this value, we got the value of the fixed and moment. By using this value, we got the value of the end moment, the final end moment in the continuous beam, and using that we have drawn the moment diagram. So while drawing the moment diagram, first you draw the moment diagram due to this uh, final end moments. That is a blue color, that is a negative moment, and then you draw the moment due to this loading. So this moment, red color moment, here will be having a we have a point load, so the load moment diagram will be triangular, and here we have a uniformly distributed load, so the moment diagram will be parabol. So this red color moment due to loading will be sagging moment, and this blue color moment will be the hogging moment. So we are drawing both in the same side. That means wherever these two diagrams are overlapping, that part of the moment will be getting cancelled. So the net moment will be only this shaded part. Okay, this shaded diagram, that will be the net moment diagram. This moment diagram we can also drawn in other way. We can also draw in the other way. We can also draw in the other way. So it is like this. So this is your the first span AB, and this is your second span BC. Okay, and here at A we have the holding moment. In the continuous beam, all the support will be having a holding moment. So here we have a holding moment. So this is the holding moment negative 42. This is 42.142. Okay, and at the support B also we have support B, we have the again the negative moment of 35.179. So all the negative moments are drawing above the lines in this drawing. So 35.1714. Okay, whatever is the value 179 is fine. Okay, and here at this um, support C also we have the hogging moment. Always remember at all the support continuously, mostly your moment will be of this direction, hogging moment, the negative moment. So 27.14, so we will be getting 27.14. Okay, so in between we have a the list. What is the variation of the moment we are going to have in span AB? That will be a linear variation. This will be a linear variation. So instead of drawing, this is the easiest way to draw the moment diagram. Draw the positive moment, sagging moment, and draw the negative moment, hogging moment, overlap, and the common part you can omit. So the remaining part you can just draw by some shade. You can draw the shaded drawing. That is the final moment diagram. But instead of this, if I want to draw only this part, the net moment diagram only want to draw that. So then you can draw like this. In between, we are going to have a linear variation of the moment because the loading is point load, only concentrate load is acting in this span AB. So, so the moment diagram will be something like this. So this is how the moment will vary between this A and B. Similarly, between B and C, we are going to have a parabolic variation because of the load, because the loading is uniformly distributed load. Okay, and here I have negative, here I have also hogging moment negative, and let me write this value. It is 27.143. Okay, so this moment between this we are going to have a parabolic variation, so you can draw it will be something like this. So this is the final moment diagram, bending moment diagram for the two span continuous beam. So this is your beam. Here we have a roller support, and here we have a concentrated load at the center, and here we have complete UDL. So under this concentrated load 40, you will be having this much of moment, Under this UDL, maybe near the center, you are going to have this much moment. And what is the what you can understand from this moment diagram? So this moment diagram, this is a negative moment hogging, it is a negative moment hogging, it is a negative moment hogging. Means all the support continuous end, and this support also we are going to have the negative moment. And at the middle of near to the mid span of the beam span AB, you are going to get a sagging moment. And here also in this beam also near to the mid span, you are going to get a sagging moment. So that also you can understand from the given question itself, because this uh, loading effect will be dominating at this middle region. So that is why you are going to have a sagging at the near to the mid span. Here also in the near to the mid span, you are going to beam is going to have a sagging, and but at the support and or at the support or at the continuous support or at the end support, you are going to get a hogging moment. So that is why you can also understand that from the deflector shape of your beam. So this deflector shape, how it is coming, already explained. So this is a deflector shape your beam is going to experience. Okay, this is the deflector shape of your beam. Okay, this is a deflector shape, or I can say elastic curve of the beam, continuous beam A, B, C. So I think we can understand a lot of things from here. So if you look at the elastic curve, the shape of the beam, you can also see that here the beam is bending is like this. Okay, and now this is sagging. This is the sagging, because you have moment diagram we used to have the term sagging. It is the meaning of sagging, and hogging means the curvature will be something like this. It is hogging, and this is the sagging. Okay, and if you look at this beam near to this load or near to the midspan region, you will get this type of shape, that is sagging. That is the indication of the beam is experiencing a sagging moment. And here also near to this middle region, you will be getting a sagging. But if you look at the support, you are going to get a this kind of shape, which is very much similar to this, that is beam is experiencing hogging or the negative moment, that you can understand from the elastic curve or the declared shape of your beam as well as your moment diagram. Okay, and also here if you see at the near to support, this is the shape, kind of shape we are going to have. This shape is a hogging, this is the shape, so that is a negative moment. And same thing you can see here also at the fixed end. This is a shape, the curvature has changed. Here it is sagging and now it has become hogging. So this is hogging, or negative moment is coming at the near to the support. So another thing you can see that from here. So another point you have to understand from this analysis is, so if you see this is sagging and this is hogging and this is sagging, that means you are in between curvature is changing from sagging to hogging. So that means the in between your curvature of the beam is changing, sagging to hogging to sagging. So that point will be calling the point of contraflexion. There is a point uh, at that point, the curvature is exactly changing from the hogging to sagging, and that point is known as the point of contraflexion. So you can see the point of contraflexion in the moment diagram. So this is the point of contraflexion in the beam. So if you want to locate the point of contraflexion, you make use of the moment diagram. So if you want to see this point in the elastic curve, maybe, so you can say that corresponding point in the elastic curve will be here. So the meaning is if you if I draw the if I uh, if I draw the enlarged view of this part, maybe something like this. This is your A, okay, and this is undeflected shape of the beam. So beam is deflecting like this. Beam is sorry, your beam is deflecting like this, after some point beam is going like this. So this is the point, so we can say this is the point. So this is the point where here where B the curvature is, it is fogging, right? It is fogging, and this is the part, this part from here, this part, this is the part beam is sagging. So beam, the curvature of the beam is changing from fogging to sagging, and this point is the point of contraflexion. Okay, and if you are looking from the elastic curve, you can see a you can see a change of curvature at this point, maybe from sagging to fogging or fogging to sagging, depends on the loading in the member. Or if you are looking from the moment diagram, you can see the moment value will be sign will be changing from negative to positive, or in other words, you can see the moment diagram is crossing the axis of the beam. So that point is the point of contraflexion. Okay, point of contraflexion. So let me write point of contraflexion. I will repeat, we can define in three ways. The in the elastic curve, it is the curvature is changing from sagging to fogging or fogging to sagging. From the moment diagram, the moment diagram is crossing the axis of the beam, or the bending moment is changing from negative to positive. So these three ways we can define the point of contraflexion. Same another point of contraflexion you can see here. Another point of contraflexion is this one, and the fourth point of contraflexion is this one. So basically, finally, in this continuous beam, sometimes the question will be asked, so how many points of contraflexion is there? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Even it can be asked in the objective exams like GATE. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4 point of contraflexion is present in the beam. Okay, in this continuous beam we have 4 point of contact pressure, and again here we have a sagging, that is that is changing from sagging to fogging, and this point of contact pressure, it is changing from fogging to sagging, and at this point of contact pressure your elastic curve, it is changing from sagging to fogging. Okay, so that is the 4 points of contact pressure. One may be here and another may be somewhere here and just near to the B but left side of B, and the one may be here the near to the B but the right side of the B, and another point of contact pressure will be here the near to the point C but left side of point C. This is 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are the 4 points of contact pressure in the B. So now we have completed how to draw the moment diagram. Okay. So now let us see how to draw the shear force diagram for the beam. So to draw the shear force diagram, very simple. You just and this is the moment diagram we got, and you just and it is a elastic curve of the beam, and you divide this beam ABC into two beams AB and BC. Divide into AB and BC two beams and apply the loading in the beam 40 and UDL, and apply the end moment, final end moment value developed at the fixed end A, developed at the continuous end B, and also here the fixed end moment we got minus 35, so anti-clockwise direction, and the final end moment we got at the point C, that is 27.143. Okay, and so you take the beam, divide into two parts, apply all the external load and final end moments, and then now this we can analyze something like your determinant structure, because I have two unknowns VA and VB, and we have two equations of equilibrium. We have two equations of equilibrium also, so we can solve for VA and VB. And actually your support, if you look at the support B in the real structure, it is a single support, $1 support is there. There will be one value reaction, but just for the analysis purpose, just to get the value of reaction at B, we have divided into two parts. So that means your VB1 and VB2, whatever value you are getting from these two span, VB1, VB2, you add together with sign. Okay, direction is opposite, you have to take algebraic sign. So you add together VB1 plus VB2, and you will be getting, that is your reaction of the RB, and whatever value you are getting for VA, that will be your RI, and whatever value of reaction at C you are getting, that is the value of reaction, what is the value of VC you are getting. Okay, that is the Vc equal to Rc. Okay, so let us solve for Va and Vb1 by applying equations of equilibrium for the span AB. So I can take the sum of all the load in the vertical direction. So we have Va plus Vb1, that is equal to 40. Okay, and now so Va plus Vb1, that is equal to 40. It is basically your first equation of equilibrium, sigma Fy equal to 0, and it is your x direction and it is your y direction. Okay, for the coordinate. Okay. Just define the coordinate here, and now you take the moment about B. So you can write the moment equation about B. So that is, you take all the moment of all the external load and reactive force reactions about B equal to, you can also write about A. You will be getting same value. If you write a moment about B, you can solve for VA, and if you write moment about A, you can solve for VB1 first. So let me solve for VA by writing the moment equilibrium about B. About B, take the moment equal to 0. So VA moment, VA creating a moment VA into 8 in the clockwise direction. So I have considered to write this equation, I have considered this clockwise direction as positive, and if clockwise is positive and anti-clockwise is negative. So according to this sign convention, you can write VA into 8 and minus 40 into 4 anti-clockwise minus 42.142. This is the n moments in the anti-clockwise direction, so negative, and plus 35.714 clockwise, it is equal to 0. And once you solve this simple equation, you will be getting the value of VA is 20.803 kilonewton. And now you substitute back this equation in the first equilibrium equation. You can solve for Vb1 and you will be getting 40 minus 20.8, so 19.196 kilonewton. Okay, and now you take second span Vc and follow the same procedure. Vb1 plus Vc, Vb2 plus Vc, that is equal to total vertical load of UDL 10 into 6, 60 kilonewton. That is what first equation of equilibrium, and second equation of equilibrium you can take moment about C to solve Vb2. So you take the moment about C and apply the same sign convention for writing the moment equilibrium equation. So Vb2 into 6, okay, minus that is a clockwise moment positive, and this UDL will create an anti-clockwise moment of 10 into 6 into 6 by 2, that is the distance to the CG of the UDL. So minus, okay, minus this moment is 35.714 kilonewton, and plus this clockwise 27.143. So you got one equation in terms of one unknown. You can solve for Vb2, and once you solve, you will be getting the value of Vb2, that is 31.428 kilonewton. So now again you substitute back this equation in this equilibrium equation. You can solve for Vc. So now we got the value of Va, Vb1, Vb2 and Vc, and I can find the value of total reaction at the polar support at B. Rb is equal to Vb1 plus Vb2, because both are acting in the upward direction, so I can add directly 19.19 plus 31.42. we'll be getting 50.624 kilonewton. Okay, so now we are going to draw the moment diagram. So to draw the moment diagram, we should know the reaction. That reaction value I have solved, we have solved already. So now the drawing the moment diagram, even though it is an indeterminate structure, continuous beam, drawing the shape of diagram, you have the procedure is same. So I will I will start from the left point or left support A. So we have some reaction Ra in the upward direction, right? And this reaction is Ra. So, and here we have upward reactions of Rb this much, 50.624, and this Ra will be 20.803, and this Rc, okay, Rc will be 28.571. All are acting in the upward direction. That is already clear because the loading is just downwards. All the reaction has to be in the upward direction to satisfy the equilibrium condition. So let us start from here. So you are at this point in the beam, and now we have R upward 20. So you go in the upward direction of this much magnitude 20, 20.803. And now you see, from here you will be getting up to here there is a load acting in the beam. So whenever there is a load in the beam, your shear force diagram will be just constant. So now I have 40 kilonewton is the load is acting in the downward direction. So we have to go along with the direction of the load. So you will go 40 in the downward direction. So once you go 40 down from 20.803, so you will be you will have the values will be value will be 20.803, 20.803, okay, minus 40. So that value I think you will be getting, this will be minus 19.71. okay, from here let me call this point as D. From D to B there is no load, so it should be shear force diagram will be just constant. So now we have to go 50.624 in the upward direction. Okay, so we can go 50.624 upward direction. So this is now 19.71 completed. Again you go so another 50. So once you go 50.624 in the upward direction, so minus 19.17 plus 50.624. So if you do that calculation, you will be getting the value will be coming something around this is the value you are going to get 31.454, okay, kilonewton. All units are kilonewton, I have not written. And from here you are going to have a linear variation in the shape of diagram, because wherever you have the uniformly distributed load in the beam, if you see the shape of diagram, you will find a linear variation. So you have to it will keep on reduce, it will keep on reduce the value, and after some point it has to reach the negative side. So finally it will come to this point. Okay, what is the value of what is the value at this point? So you can get this value at this point, that is 31.454, okay, minus the total load due to UTL, that is 60. So if you do that, you will get this value will be minus 28, minus 28.546. That is the value you are going to get at this point. And now we have the reaction RC. You have to go RC in the upward direction. Okay, just go in the direction of the load, so you will get the correct shear force diagram. So finally you will end up in the value 0. You started from 0, go along the direction of the reaction or the load, you can draw the nice shear force diagram. So this is, maybe I am taking it as positive, so then at that case this should be negative. It is positive and it is also negative. So in between you are going to be somewhere 0, and that point of 0 shear force. Okay, so what is this point? That point is nothing but your if you see that moment diagram, somewhere you are going to get a maximum moment, and that maximum point of moment, okay, maximum region of moment will be, this is the point. Suppose if you want to locate where is your maximum moment is coming in the beam, so you have to locate the point of shear force equal to 0. You have to locate a point where the shear force magnitude is 0, because we have the relation between the shear force and moment. So if you take the first derivative of moment, you will get the shear force. Okay, for moment to be maximum, you have so the you can say mathematically you can say dm by dx, it should be 0. So what is dm by dx? This is nothing but your shear force. So wherever we have a 0 shear force, you will be getting the maximum moment. So this is the final shear force diagram for your continuous beam. Okay.